Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Madison County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, September the 19th. It is 8:30. We're meeting at the West Tennessee Research and Educational Center right here at 605 Airways Boulevard, room 150. Appreciate everyone being here. We'll all rise. Commissioner Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we have Nick Pappas. Most of us know Nick is the former director of the Youth Town, and he's a huge asset, of course, to the organization. He can be credited with much of its success, and he's back working with the organization now, and we're just glad that he's here to lead us in our invocation and pledge this morning.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to be here. Before I say a prayer, I just want to make you aware of something, that this year is the 60th anniversary of Youth Town of Tennessee. It's probably one of the oldest Christian-based services for youth in the state. And as we started out years ago with young kids, and this Thomas Verghese up here, 30 years ago, when I first went there, prayed me in there, and he was a house parent there at that particular time. So this is my 30th year of being a part of this, and probably the greatest battlefield spiritually that you can ever be around is the contention of the life and the destiny of the youth in this county and throughout this state. And that's what the men and women do down there. Obviously, you may or may not know, but we do adolescent alcohol and drug treatment. We are Joint Commission accredited, have psychiatrists on our staff, and so forth. But keep us in prayer. There'll be more information coming out about the celebration we're going to have in a couple months out there. Let's pray. Father, I come before you with these men and women, and I ask forgiveness. And Lord, I've covered this place in the only righteousness we have, and that's the shed blood of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And Father, I pray you give each man and woman here wisdom, Father, that goes way beyond. Your word says if we ask for it, you will give it to us, but not doubt it. Give them the wisdom that they need. Father, this country was formed because of your name. They came here, Father, to serve a living God. And that God exists in Madison County, and these people that make these decisions need your wisdom and guidance right now and your blessings. Be with them, and especially be with their families. I pray this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brother Nate. Roll call.
Abernathy. Here. A-Day. Here. Alexander. Here. Arnold. Yes. Black. Here. Bond. Here. Brown. Here. Bryant Cindy. Here. Bryant Mike. Here. Deaton.
Here.
Ellison. Here. Godwin. Here. Hill. Here. Hall. Here. Hicks. Here. Johnson Arthur. Here. Jones. Present. Martin. Here. Mercer. Montague. Here. Neoff. Here. Petty. Taylor. Here. Tippett. Here. Wall. Here. 24 present, Mr. Chairman.
24 present, 1 absent. Approval of the minutes for the previous meeting. Have a motion by... Second, Commissioner Hale. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 3, presentation from the county mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to once again congratulate our commissioners, our new ones, and obviously those that have been reelected that are back. I appreciate you guys and ladies in your service. I'm looking forward to working with you. I would ask a personal request this morning. I would like us to stop being the WWF Wrestling Federation for the county. All right, let's bring the temperature down. That's my desire. I want us to work together. Let's follow our rules. We're going to have an uptick on that, I believe, starting this next few years, where we all abide by the rules and we all treat each other with respect and humanity. You have my commitment that I'll do that with you, and I would like you guys to do that with each other as well. So I appreciate you, and let's lead well, and let's not be such a show, but let's make good policy, and let's help the community members of Madison County.
Item number 4, announcement from the chair, and let me just preview the rules that the mayor was referring to that's in our, that we've all agreed to. When you get ready to make a motion, you need to stand. If you want to second a motion, you need to stand. If you don't do either one of the two, then you won't be recognized. And I think this year, the coming year, I hope that we will be respectful to one another. There will be no personal attacks on each other. When you get ready to address any issue, address it to the chair. Don't be having conversations around the room or with each other. Just address it to the chair, and we'll handle this in a very professional and corporate way. Everybody agree on that? Great deal. Item number 5, announcement from our school superintendent.
Mr. Chairman, Dr. King is not here today, but we have an excellent presentation that Deputy Superintendent Vivian Williams and one of her staff members, Ms. Catherine Forth, is going to present to us on our Level 5 district.
That'll be fine.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. My name is Catherine Forth. I'm the Chief Accountability Officer for the Jackson-Madison County School System. And we're excited to share with you today some of the celebrations that we've been having in our school district based off of our results from last school year. So we have had a lot to celebrate. We have had 2 schools come off of the state's priority list. We had 12 schools named as Level 5 TVOS growth schools. We've been named a Level 5 TVOS growth district, which is the highest ranking that you can get. We just last week were able to announce that we had 9 state reward schools and that we were named as an advancing district for the state of Tennessee. Okay. Thank you. Okay, for what I want to do is to make sure that you all can understand what the rules are that are in place that get us these different titles or these different honors that we've earned. For priority schools, all that they look at, because there's several different metrics that go into it that I'm going to just briefly touch on today so that you can at least have a working knowledge of what those metrics are. For priority schools, they only look at achievement. That's the percent of kids that are meeting or exceeding expectations. If a school is in the bottom 5% for that, they're named to the priority list. Level 5 schools looks at growth. Are we meeting kids where they are and moving them forward? So that's looking at all students and how much they're growing. And for reward schools and for our district standards, it's going to look at all of the different metrics that are out there. Go ahead, Karen. Important to note, for accountability purposes, all that was looked at this past year was math and ELA or English language arts scores. Okay, these are the different, you might say, pie charts of how these schools get their rankings. The biggest piece of the pie, it may be difficult to see, but the big blue piece is going to be achievement. The growth is the orange slice of the pie. And then we have some smaller pieces of the pie. For K-8 schools, it's ELPA, that's our English language proficiency for our English learner students. And then chronically out of school is the yellow. In the high school, there's 2 other metrics that are looked at, graduation rate and ready graduate status. And I'll briefly explain those in just a minute. We always tell the schools that there's more than one way to an A. All of this is leading into the state report card that's going to come out in the next month or so. And the goal is always, right, to get an A on the report card. And so there's multiple ways they can get there. The state has a rubric where you can meet it by absolute metrics, such as, for example, to get an A for achievement, if you have 45% or more of your students that are meeting or exceeding expectations, you get an A. A B would be 35% up to that 45. There's similar metrics for graduation rate and for all the different metrics that we're looking at. But the other way that they can get it and can earn an A, and how many of our schools did, is through annual measurable objectives, or AMOs. And you might ask what that is. Well, I was a high school math teacher, so I'm going to take you back to your high school math classroom. I hope it doesn't cause any stress for anybody. But we're going to do a little math problem here. An AMO is a goal that's set with the goal of reducing the percent of kids that are not meeting expectations. And the goal is to reduce it by half over the next 8 years. So let's do a little math problem. I promise you can do this one in your head. If we have 20% of our kids that are meeting or exceeding expectations, what percent is not? 80. So our goal is, let's reduce that by half. So what's half of 80? 40. And we need to do that over the next 8 years. So 40 divided by 8 is 5. So our AMO, or our goal, is to increase our percentage of our success rate by 5%. That's our AMO. Our double AMO would be to be 10%, so twice that growth rate. So that's what we've been working with, is the AMOs and double AMOs. So to meet our AMO, we would need to have 25% of our kids meet expectations, and to hit our double AMO, it would be 30%. Okay. There are 4 of those different metrics we talked about that use those AMOs. So our achievement rate, our graduation rate, our ready graduate, and chronically out of school. There's multiple ways to an A for those metrics. So let's go, I want to briefly just show you a quick snapshot of where our district scored for each of these metrics for this past year. I'm going to start with the narrower pieces of the pie. So ELPA, English Language Proficiency, these are for our English language learners. So those are our kids whose native language is not English. There's only one way to an A here. There's no growth metric. It's just this rubric that the state gives us. The way that we can meet our metric is if kids, they have a test called the WIDA Access Test. If they score high enough that they're able to exit our ESL program and no longer need those supports, that counts positively. They also have 1-year and 2-year growth rates or expectations based on where they are in terms of learning the English language. Go ahead and go to the next slide. This is our last 2 years' results for Jackson-Madison County for English language proficiency. Orange was 2021 and blue was 2022. As you can see, we've made significant progress in the last year in terms of the percent of our kids that are meeting the expectations on that test. For chronically out of school, the rule for chronically out of school is that students cannot miss more than 10% of instructional days. So we have a 180-day calendar. If kids miss more than 18 days of school, they're going to be considered chronically absent. We know this is a challenge for our school system, and it was a challenge for sure last year. This shows the last 2 years' data, and as you can see across all different grade bands, we had an increase in chronic absenteeism. Just keep in mind, please, the orange year 2021 was what I call the COVID year. It was the year that part of our kids were virtual. A good chunk of them were virtual. Some were only coming every other day. So I don't know that this is an apples to apples comparison, but regardless, we know we have far too many kids that are missing school, and this has certainly been a goal of ours for this year, and we see the principals tackling it right now. Graduation rate. So we have graduation rate is what percent of our students are graduating on time with a regular diploma, and there's a rubric for how they can be scored. Looking at graduation rates, and what I want to note about the next 2 things I'm going to show you, graduation rate and ready graduate, we deal with lagged data. So this is the class of 2020, not the class of 2022 who walked across the stage last spring and is just starting their freshman year in college. This is the class previous to that. We have to do that because the kids actually have until August to finish their high school requirements if they want to. So we are looking, just know that this is 2 years ago. Our graduation rate for the class of 2021 was 85%. I do want to say we have preliminary data for the class of 2022, and we know that it's going to be above 90% for next year. So we're very encouraged by the ground that we're making up here. The bigger indicator, though, for high schools is ready graduate. So not just a regraduating them, but a regraduating them for whatever is next. There's 4 ways students can meet ready graduate status. They can score a 21 on the ACT. They can complete 4 early post-secondary opportunities. This is dual enrollment and dual credit classes. We have partnerships with Jackson State and University of Memphis Lambeth where our kids take classes, so it's completing those classes. We also have agreements with the TCAP Center where many of our CTE programs, the kids are getting credit at TCAP for their automotive classes, their welding classes. and such. They also can be a Ready graduate if they have 2 of those EPSOs and an industry certification. So that could be OSHA certification for our students that are working in the LOOP program, or we have some that get Safe Serve certifications through that LOOP program also, or a passing score on a military readiness test such as the ASVAB. And go ahead and go to the next slide. We did see a dip. Again, this is the class of 2021. So, we never want to see a dip, but I will just say, I'm not making excuses, I'm just telling you the truth of what happened with the class of 2021. Remember, the first way to earn Ready graduate status is to score a 21 on the ACT. The class of 2021, they were juniors in the spring of 2020. They were scheduled to take the ACT for the first time when they returned from spring break, except they didn't come back from spring break. So this particular class, where all the other classes have traditionally had 2 opportunities to take the ACT, they had 1 chance in September when they returned from having been out of school for quite a while. So we are anticipating these rates rising with the class of 2022 also. It's a very unique situation for the class of 2021. Okay, so those were kind of the small indicators. I want to jump into the 2 big ones. The 2 that carry the most weight in this as we look for these grades to come out on the report card soon are achievement and growth. Achievement. So achievement is what % of the kids are considered meeting expectations. And I put a few examples up there so that you would know what that means. It means that on a 4th grade English language arts test, they needed to get 33 out of 52 questions correct on that test. 7th grade math and algebra 2, it was 30 out of 52 correct. And again, this is one of those metrics that has better scores. This is, there's 5 bars, but it's actually 6-year trend data for our students across in English language arts across all grade levels. There's 3 to the left, and there should be a wide gap between that 3rd and 4th bar because that was 2020 when there were no test scores. So it's actually 6 years because there were no scores in 2020. And you can see, I'm sure you've heard about learning loss and the impact of what virtual learning and the disruption to regular education has done to the students. You can see that dip from 2019 pre-pandemic down to last year, and then you can see how it has come up and rebounded this year. We had 20% of our students who were meeting or exceeding expectations prior to the pandemic. In English language arts, that dropped off, but now this past year it was up to 23%. So across the school district, very positive news that not only have we recovered to where we were, but we're 3% higher than we were pre-pandemic in terms of our proficiency levels for English language arts. This gives you a breakdown by elementary, middle school, and high school. You can see that it was much more pronounced dips, but also better recoveries with the younger students in elementary and in middle school. Both of those grade bands are now 4% higher than they were pre-pandemic. The high school students, it didn't seem to be impacted. They were 24% proficient before, they're 24% proficient during, and now. So we're not seeing the same growth out of the high schoolers that we saw out of elementary and middle, but you can see, I think it's very positive news for our younger learners in terms of their recovery from the learning loss. This is just a little snapshot of what 4th grade looks like. On the left-hand side, you'll see the red graph indicates the state proficiency scores, and the navy blue next to them with the trend line is Jackson-Madison County. Our trends have followed the state. We are lower than the state in terms of proficiency, but we saw the same kind of dips and the same kinds of recovery as other districts across the state have. I do want to note, if you see up in the upper right-hand corner, 39% of all Tennessee students are considered meeting expectations on the 4th grade ELA test. So keep that in mind. That means the student has to score at the 61st percentile in order to be considered meeting expectations. So if you're at the 50th percentile, if you're the average student, that is not going to get you that level of meeting expectations. That bar is set high. Math, so here's math scores across the whole district. You'll see a much more pronounced dip. The learning loss was much more significant. This is a nationwide trend in math. It's been harder to recover from math than it was in ELA. So what we've seen mirrors with the state is that we dropped off and we have recovered some of the learning loss. We were at, I believe it was 20. I can't see those numbers up there. It dropped down significantly, has come back up to 16. So we're not quite back to our pre-pandemic levels, but certainly we improved over where we were in 2021. This is the elementary, middle, and high school grade band. And you see kind of some common trends of what we saw in English, much more pronounced drop off in the lower grades, but also faster recovery. Our high school has not recovered nearly as fast. We know that high school math is one of the areas that we need to focus on and that we are focusing on this year. Here's a snapshot of 7th grade. Again, you'll see those same trend lines that are following the state, and I do want to note that to be proficient or considered meeting expectations in 7th grade math, you have to be at the 69th percentile. Only 31% of Tennessee students are meeting that expectation. But overall, this is something we wanted to highlight that we are improving. This is looking at all the elementary and middle school grades in ELA and math as well collectively. Out of the 14 different measures, Jackson-Madison County exceeded the improvement rate that the state saw in 12 of those 14 areas. We were growing our students and helping them recover faster than other districts in the state. Okay, so that's achievement. The other big one is growth. Now, the growth one is my favorite metric because achievement, you gotta be at the 61st percentile, the 69th percentile in order to count. But growth counts all students. It looks at those kids that historically have been at the 30th percentile, can we get them to the 35th percentile? They're not gonna necessarily get to that high level of hitting the achievement mark, but we're still moving them in the right direction. Okay? So it uses TVAS. So you may have heard of TVAS. TVAS is the Tennessee Value Added Assessment System. It measures students' growth year over year, regardless of if they're proficient or not. And when calculating TVAS, a student's performance is compared to the performance of their peers who have performed similarly on past assessments. TVAS expects students to maintain their same relative position to their peers each year as they progress through Tennessee schooling experience. Bottom line, if a kid historically has scored at the 40th percentile, they're expected this year to score at the 40th percentile. If they score at the 45th percentile, that gives us positive growth. They've exceeded what they have historically done. If they were dropped down to the 30th percentile, that would give you a negative TVAS score because I've underperformed compared to where I've historically done. So this is kind of a bar graph. The red is going to be a level 1. The kind of peachish color is 2. Green is 3, which means at expectations maintaining. The turquoise would be a level 4 TVAS score, and that dark blue would be a level 5. This is English language arts for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and across those grade bands. In all grades except for 8th grade, we were in a level 5. And in 8th grade, we maintained. We stayed where we were. Bottom line, what this will tell us, that give us our entering achievement percentile, our average student was entering at the 35th percentile in English language arts, but our average student actually exited at the 37th percentile. So when you look at all of those students, they grew 2 percentile. And I like to look at it this way, there's about 70,000 kids in the state that took each assessment, so if they grew 2 percentile, they surpassed 1,400 kids who last year scored better than they did. Our average students surpassed 1,400 other students in Tennessee last year with their performance. This is the same chart but for math, and you can see it looks extremely similar. We were level 4 in 4th grade, but level 5 in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and overall. You have to have a growth index of a 2 in order to be considered at a level 5, and you'll see many of ours exceed that. Our entering percentile in math was the 31st percentile. We actually grew 3 percentile there, and the average exiting was 34th. So while not at that proficient level, it's definitely making progress and moving in the right direction. So again, I said an index score of 2 is what was necessary to have a level 5, and you can see we were not just a little bit of a level 5, we were really a level 5 score. And at the bottom it says a level 5 means that there's significant evidence that the district's students made more growth than was expected. Those calculations I just showed you was for the all student groups. We repeat that same process for each of these historically underserved groups, including Black, Hispanic, and Native American students, English learners, economically disadvantaged, and students with disabilities. And then it's kind of like go back to your high school days when you had a grade book where certain grades, like maybe tests counted more than homework did. They count all students as 60% of the kids' grade, or the school's grade, and the historically underserved groups as 40%. They average those together. This is kind of a little example report card to give a school an overall letter grade or GPA. Now, this was the year that when I created this originally, because I've used this presentation with principals also, this was the year that we were supposed to start getting letter grades on our report cards. They have since backed that out and said we will not be getting letter grades, but I want to show you what the letter grades would have looked like had they not backed that out. You can kind of think of it as a GPA. If you're above a 3.0, so from 3.1 to a 4 on your average, that means that your school would get an A on the report card, and there is the scale for B, C, and D. The letter grade of F is reserved just for priority schools. So schools with a rating of 3.1 or higher would have received the letter grade of an A, and those are the schools that would be named reward schools. Okay, so here is our designations of our schools for this year. No longer on the priority list. We are pleased to announce that Arlington Elementary and Isaac Lane Elementary, who have both been on that priority list for a very long time, are no longer on the priority list. They are coming off. We will have two schools that Stelward, Lincoln, and JCT will remain on the priority list, and Liberty will be added to the priority list this year, but we're very pleased with the ones that are coming off. These are our TBOS level 5 schools. So this is what contributed to the district being a level 5, the number of schools we had that were growing students past where they were expected. Andrew Jackson, East Isaac Lane, JCM Early College, Jackson Career and Technology, Madison, North Parkway, Northeast, Pope, South side of Thelma Barker. So a whole lot of schools that got the level 5 because they grew the students past where they were predicted to do. And then these are the reward schools that would, they're getting ready to get their banners delivered to them, that you will see if you go drive by the schools. They'll be outside, because these are the schools that would have received, and I still think should get an A on their report card. Alexander Elementary, East Elementary, Isaac Lane, JCM Early College, Madison Academic, Northeast Middle, Pope, South, and Thelma Barker Elementary. So hopefully that gives you a basic understanding of what the rules are and how the schools are judged, and the successes that we saw this year. We're very proud of our schools, of our administrators, our teachers, and our students. They've worked very hard.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'll be emailing this out to all of the commissioners, or get it to Sarah to email out, but I think the school system deserves a well-rounded applause for the hard work.
Thank you.
Chairman, I got a question. On the
Commissioner.
charter schools, what the status of, how we working on that charter school at this point?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The charter school,
He's asking about the charter schools.
We just had the public hearing with the commission on Thursday, and they took everything, the information, and we're making a decision sometime around the first week in October. I believe that date is October the 4th or 5th that the commission meets to make a decision.
thank you.
Any other questions? All righty. Item number 6 has been removed, and item number 8 has been removed. They're not prepared yet. So we go to item number 7, progress report from the sheriff on our new jail.
First, I'd like to say congratulations. Everybody got reelected, all the new commissioners, and so we appreciate y'all representing our county. As far as the sheriff, I look forward to working with everybody in here. I'll make sure that I get you a contact number and email, so if you have any issues, don't hesitate to call me. I've been at jail, well, last week I was at jail school, so I had to go 2 weeks sheriff school. So I've been busy going to mandated training. But it's priority to get the jail open, and this is where we are. We're at a minimum 3 to 4 months out. We got meetings this week with the construction manager, working on the punch list. The biggest issues that we've got with opening the jail is supply chain issues. We're having issues with switches for the phones, and also the Wi-Fi components. So we got some meetings this week with TCI, which is Tennessee Correction Institute, to see if there's other equipment that we can use to get this thing open. But as far as our goal is to get this open in the next 3 to 4 months. So that's a priority, and you know, just kind of give you some kind of idea. I think September the 1st we had 516 inmates in that jail. And so I wanted to make it a priority for the ones that were TDOC inmates that were ready to go to jail. We kind of had to wait on the state till beds get open. But between September 1st and September 15th, we've sent 25 to TDOC. So our population this morning is 489, so that's down. We got another 5 going to TDOC. We're hoping to get another 25 between the 15th and 30th to TDOC or other jails. So we're trying to get the jail population down. when we move in this new jail, it's we got 518 beds. So, you know, we keep about 20 inmates at the annex, above the courthouse. And so we're going to have to bring those 20 over. And so I don't want to start this thing off being, you know, overpopulated when we open the door. So, but there's a lot of moving parts. We got a lot of good folks that work for Madison County, with Sheriff's Department, Maintenance Department. I mean, everybody's working hard, but we're gonna make it a priority. And that's all I got, Commissioner.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate it very much. Item number 8's been removed, so item number 9, report from the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. TSA, the equipment is being delivered today, installed and certified Tuesday and Wednesday. Hopefully a soft opening end of this month. Ford has obviously broken ground. They've been really, in this community and all throughout the region, meeting with school systems, building a curriculum that really helps the workforce, but not only theirs, but our existing industries as well. JDDC, which is Jackson Downtown Development Corporation, hired a new executive director, Beth Ann Simpson, who started about 3 weeks ago. I'm sure you guys will meet her and hear from her. Our housing study, which is sort of going to drive a lot of our community response to Global City, is on track. They started June 6th, and I think the deadline for it to be done is in November, early November. So that's on track and going well. We have seen an uptick, and you guys will see some of this, I'm sure, in mixed-use developments, which is a development much like Jackson will have some residential, commercial, retail component to it. So I'm sure our community will see an uptick in those requests as well.
Where's that location?
Which one?
One you just mentioned.
The mixed use, I'm just saying, we have seen it, a lot of people approaching us about potentially developing these throughout the county. No one specific just yet. Any questions? Now, I can't get used to seeing you with the khaki on.
Thank you, appreciate it. Item number 10, report from Lori Nunnery with the Jackson-Madison County, Tennessee Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Thank
Go
you.
right ahead, Lori.
Good news, hotel motel tax collections continue to increase. We were projected to be up 7% this calendar year. We are actually up nearly 14%. So it's double what we anticipated. And that's coming off of last year that was up nearly 30%. So you can see that growth is happening with hotel motel tax collections. We also have 4 hotels in the pipeline in addition to Great Wolf Lodge. So that'll probably add nearly 1,000 rooms to our market here over the next few years. Other things that are going on, we're starting to see a little pickup in group travel. We're seeing more buses getting out there. That was a market that was severely hit by COVID, and it's taking a while to rebound. It's not the same as it once was. I mean, a lot of those businesses went under during that time. So, but we are seeing a pickup here locally because one of the great things is our affordability here and also our hospitality. Our folks are willing to entertain and do a great job with that. So I'm very proud of the efforts here locally. A couple events that are coming up that you need to know about this weekend. We have the Gil Scott Heron. There's going to be an unveiling of the historical marker and the mural on Friday at 11 a.m. And then Saturday they're having a concert at the AMP beginning at 5 p.m. He is from Jackson, and the reason why he's important to our story is he was one of the precursors to rap. He was one of the leaders. He did the spoken word of music. So we're also working on a display that will be put in the Tennessee Legends of Music Museum at the Carnegie to honor him as well. Also this weekend, Saturday, is the Starlight Symphony at the Presbyterian Church, long-standing event in our community. You have the ladies here from the West Tennessee Veterans Coalition that will be telling you about all of the activities tied to the Veterans Coalition. And I want to make sure that you understand the importance of what they're saying, because as they've created this event and it's gone on and grown, there's great opportunity to bring groups in to also experience this. So just think of that when you see this event and all the activities they're doing, that there's opportunities to piggyback off of this, to bring folks into our community to stay in our hotels, and in turn generate more tax revenue for our community. We have them here. The other thing I want to make sure that you know is the Christmas parade date has been changed. Typically, it was on a Monday, the first Monday in December, that it is now December the 10th. It is a Saturday morning parade. I believe it's starting 10 or 11 on that Saturday morning.
10.
Is it 10? Okay, thank you. So that is a change in what's going on. Thank you, Tanya. And I think that's it. I'll be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
What's the update on the Great Wolf Lodge? I mean, I know, but any,
No, we're continuing to work the project, and we work closely with the chamber on that. It's, COVID slowed us down. We were ready to go put the shovel in the ground, and that slowed us down. So we are in the final stages of working out the legal documents, and I have a new appreciation for attorneys because of everything that is involved in that, and especially when you have a $150 million project, there's a lot of details to be worked out. So it's moving on. I think we'll probably, I hate to put a timeline on when we'll give you an answer on that exactly, because then I'll be held to that. But I know that we are moving in the right direction, and everything looks positive, and we're in great contact with Great Wolf Lodge. So it's looking good. I'm very
thank you,
pleased.
Lord. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Item number 11, report from our Finance Director, Karen Bell.
Most of my items are at the end of the agenda, so I'll just briefly say the budget has been updated on the website, as well as many of the policies that I encourage you all to go to. And for all of our new commissioners, as well as the old commissioners, know that the Finance Department is here to provide data, so if you have any questions about anything related to the budget, please let us know. Thank you.
Item number 12, report from county officials, standing special committees, old business, acts are held by this board.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
This is report time, right?
Yes.
The Madison County Beer Board met this morning, and we had one application. That's Jelani Karam, and this is for an off-premises permit, and that's located at 202 Providence Road, which is at exit 68 and I-40, and that was approved.
Thank you, sir. Item number 13, report from the county mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to mention the Great Wolf Lodge project very briefly. Next week, myself and some other county officials and chamber leadership will be going to Chicago, and among that many meetings we have those 2 days, we're going to be meeting with Great Wolf Lodge corporate headquarters. So I hope to sweeten that a little bit and get us some more information on where that's going to be. I want to yield my time to Miss Mary Ross, who works with our Doubletree Hotel here, but also is the West Tennessee Veterans Coalition president, chairman?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm actually the parade chair and committee member for the upcoming West Tennessee Salute to Our Veterans Military Ball. A little bit about what we do. November the 5th, we're going to have our first annual military ball. The grandson to General George S. Patton will be our keynote speaker. One Night Stand is going to perform after that. And this is made possible by donations from Golden Circle, American Access, as well as a lot of different corporates coming in. We're selling tickets currently at $100, $75 per military veteran. But we want to encourage, had a great meeting, former Mayor Harris and current Mayor Massey, prior to him taking office. They both supported our ball. They both bought tickets to that. And my encouragement today is to try to get, while I know there's no discretionary fund into the county budget to be able to sponsor this, we're asking that each and every person in this room purchase tickets for themselves, their spouse. Every bit of money that we get is going to be turned over into a fund to support our veterans, so veterans in crisis. This past year, we've had one young lady who is actually a member of the National Guard. She was behind on her bills, kind of got out there, got behind on a light bill right before our big winter storm. They cut her power off. Thankfully, someone within our organization was able to reach out to other people to get it turned back on, but it takes time to make that happen. Our goal is we have funds in the bank that we can walk up, slide a debit card, and we take care of that immediately. You know, we had a homeless vet who had a real bad infection in his foot, went to the hospital, spent some time, almost lost a leg. When it was time to discharge, he had no DD 214, so he was unable to actually go to the veterans home in Humboldt because he didn't have proper paperwork. One of our members took it out of their own pocket, put him into a hotel, a couple $100 for a couple weeks until we could expedite those funds. Once again, had we had our Veterans in Crisis fund, we would have been able to go out, pay for this gentleman a room in a dry, clean place to help him until we were able to put him into a safe rehab facility. In addition to the ball, we have, this is our 10th annual Celebrating Our Veterans Friday night event, which will be at Inglewood Baptist Church. We're hoping to have a great event for all of our veterans. We would like to welcome everyone in this room to attend. Also, 9th annual parade, which started out 9 years ago up around Pringles Park at that point, but we've grown downtown. It's about an hour-long parade. It's an amazing event. We love on our veterans. We hopefully will have the 129th Army Band as well as Lane College Band wrapping that up. And we hand out about 6,000 patches per year, which is kind of every veteran we see, every time we go to a veterans event, we thank them for their service. This has all of the information about both of our major events going on. Our West Tennessee Veterans Coalition also very recently has added a memorial coin for veterans. People like issue and challenge coins when you're in the veterans. This is actually a memorial coin. This particular one is going to the West Tennessee Veterans Cemetery. It was sponsored by Cooper Hotels in Memphis, but it's kind of the West Tennessee Coalition's ideal, and this is the final cemetery across the state funded, so we have these already in Parker's Crossroads. We also have them in the Middle Tennessee Cemetery and the East Tennessee Cemetery. We're taking these coins on Friday to present them to Major General Tommy Baker and Rodney Shaw at the West Tennessee Veterans Cemetery. So we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of items that celebrate our veterans in our area, and we're encouraging everyone in this room to step up, be a part of that. We meet the EMA office third Wednesday of every month for a normal meeting. But our request is that we get on the budget for 2023. We would love to have county funds to be able to help support some of what we do every year. We meet monthly, we do fundraisers, we get people who sponsor items, which is always great. But just to be able to have the income to go out and do what we do to support veterans, it's huge. And I guess I was challenged by both former mayor and current mayor to just kind of come in and tell you all about what we do and hopefully be a part of that. I mean, I've had the pleasure of working with the three gentlemen to my right many years. They've always supported our parade, our Friday night event, and we very much appreciate all of you and continuing to work with you. So, does anybody have any questions for me on anything I didn't cover?
What was the day of the event?
The military ball is November 5th, and I do have some flyers that I'm going to leave up front. It will be held at the Doubletree Hotel. And sponsorships, I have $5,000 sponsorships going down to $1,000. All sponsorship levels actually do include 10 chairs, dinner, acknowledgments during the event. So we definitely would love to have you. My cell number is actually on this flyer that I'm going to leave out here. Anybody who has any questions, anybody who wants to purchase tickets, please feel free to call me. I would love the chance to speak with you all and to become better partners with this group.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it very much. Jack Utley, thank you for all you've done over the years with the veterans.
May I add that the Friday night Veterans event will be actually on Veterans Day, November 11th. It will begin at 6:30 at Inglewood Church. It's open to the public, but we encourage veterans to attend, especially because we are celebrating and honoring veterans. The Veterans Day Parade this year will be on Saturday, November 12th. The staging area will be at the Civic Center. The parade will begin at 11 a.m. and will run through downtown Jackson. We don't charge an entry fee for the parade, but we do ask that people who want to enter band or a float or a car or just walk the route, let us know so that we can work on our staging. Excuse me. And we do encourage veterans to decorate a vehicle and participate in the parade. Doubletree always offers a prize for the best decorated veterans vehicle. So if you know a veteran or if you have a great car you'd like to enter in that as a veteran, please do an entry form. And they're available from Mary Ross with her, just call her cell number and they're available.
And I'm always at the Doubletree, Jackson, so if you don't get one of these flyers, you need to get in touch with me. Definitely give me a call in the office.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Item number 14, any amendments or transfers to the general fund, school department, capital projects, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service, budget year for 21-22. Commissioner Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met and approved 9 amendments. Insurance recovery refunds, item 1, highway, $2,650. This was from South Elementary zone light on Stone Road was damaged by motorists, and this was reimbursement from the insurance.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 2, maintenance, $7,000, excuse me, $7,950. Sale of truck money transferred back to capital budget.
Committee recommendation, no second required.
I need to accuse myself from that. That's my fault.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
New program, item 3, Sheriff's Department, $305,000, general fund, new money, amendment for confinement facilities, COVID grant for the jail.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Transfers, item 4, Election Commission, $3,698, increased pay for assisting in redistricting portion of job.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 5, Election Commission, $2,500, overtime work for August election.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 6, Election Commission, $60,000 to purchase high-speed DS-450 scanner and tabulator for counting absentee ballots. Vendor will split payment over 2 years if needed.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 7, Risk Management, $14,500, demo and haul off of old Warden's house and fill in dirt.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 8, Highway, $400,000, proposed paving bid exceeded budget amount due to increase in asphalt cost.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Item 9, Reserve, Circuit Court Clerk, $3,661.64. Annual remote support contract for video arrangement system for 4 courts.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
We had one to come in, Mr. Chairman, from, after the Finance Committee met from IT, Fund 101, and it's for data processing and communication, debits and credits, so $450. I move that we suspend the rules.
Have a motion to suspend the rules? Second. Have a second, Commissioner Alexander. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
No.
All right.
Repeat the motion. Repeat the motion.
It's for, let's see, debits and credits of data processing and to communications, $450, $455.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
That's all, Mr. Chairman.
You made the motion, who made the second?
Alexander.
Okay.
Item number 15, appointment of Chair Pro Tem by this body, one-year term, Arthur Johnson incumbent. Commissioner Alexander?
I rise to nominate Arthur Johnson, continue in that role.
Second. Have a second. Commissioner Wall. Any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Appointment of the chair, I'll turn it over pro tem.
The floor is open for nominations for the chairman of the commission.
I nominate Gary Deaton.
I'll second.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Brown.
Commissioner
Claudette
who?
Brown. Claudette Brown.
All right. Anyone else?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Mike Taylor.
Any other nominations? Do what, Mr. Commissioner? All right. Any other nominations? All right, Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Chair, I would like to ask that I be removed from nominations.
All right. Commissioner Taylor has to be removed.
Yes, sir. So they're gonna respond, Deaton or Brown, correct? Abernathy?
Brown.
A-Day?
Deaton.
Alexander?
Deaton.
Arnold?
Mark me as a pass.
Yes, sir. Black?
Brown.
Bond?
Deaton.
Brown?
Brown.
Bryant Cindy?
Deaton.
Bryant Mike?
Deaton.
Deaton?
Deaton.
Ellison?
Brown.
Godwin?
Brown.
Hill?
Deaton.
Hall?
Deaton.
Hicks?
Deaton.
Johnson?
Deaton.
Jones?
Brown.
Martin?
Brown.
Mercer?
Brown.
Montague?
Brown.
Niehoff?
Deaton.
Petty? Taylor?
Deaton.
Tippit?
Deaton.
Wall?
Deaton.
Mr. Chairman, I've got 14 for Mr. Deaton, 9 for Mr. Brown, 1 passed, 1 absent.
All right. The count is 14 for Deaton, 9 for Brown, 1 pass and 1 absent. Mr. Deaton, you're the.
Thank you very much. For those who voted for me, I thank you. For those who didn't, I'll still do my best. Item number 17. Appointment of one member of the Civil Service Board by this body, 3-year term, Lee Grindle, incumbent.
You got Mr. Niehoff.
Mr. Niehoff?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to reappoint Lee Reynolds to this position.
I'll second.
That was second by Commissioner Wall. Any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. That was 17. 18, appointment of one member to the Insurance Committee by this body, one-year term, John Newman, incumbent. Mike Taylor?
I'd like to nominate Billy Burkhead to take John's place.
Mr. Chairman, I second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. 18, number 19. Appointment of three members of Madison County Library Board by this body, three-year term, Barbara Johnson, Phil Mullen, and Amy Dietrich, incumbent. Commissioner Tippett?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Kevin Hicks and Olivia Abernathy.
Commissioner Brown?
That was my nomination. My nomination was Olivia also. He just nominated.
You second that motion?
I second it.
Okay. Have motion second.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to make sure the commission's clear that only one CLB member can be not elected to the library board under the statute.
So we only voted for either Kevin Hicks or Olivia Abernathy.
Right, you can renominate the other members, but only one commissioner can fill this commission spot.
That was, so we got Philip Mullins and Amy Dietrich incumbent, and we're gonna vote for one.
Amy can also not be reappointed. She's already served 2 terms.
She served 2 terms, Amy has. But we could only nominate one commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Olivia Abernathy.
I second.
We already had, both of them already been nominated. We're voting on one of them.
Well, I thought we had 2, but can only have 1, is that right?
Yeah, we only have one, but we're voting on 2.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So Philip Mullins is the current library board chair, and he can serve another term if y'all would be pleased to reappoint him. The library board also submitted a name of Sue Vargas? Vagers? Sue Vagers.
Is that resume been turned in? We have a resume on that. What is her name again?
Sue Vagers, and there was a resume sent in.
I didn't understand.
I believe it's Sue Vagers, V-E-G-O-R-S.
Sue Vagers.
And there was a resume sent in.
Commissioner Hale.
Just to clear this up, Mr. Chairman, do you need a motion for Phil, or is his term expired?
You do have to reappoint.
Okay, I would make a motion to reappoint, you said Philip Mullins, to continue.
I'll second that.
Have motion second, Commissioner Brown.
I didn't know that both we were doing, I thought we were in a nomination stage.
We were.
Okay, we just entertained the motion.
We've got, I think we all got confused. We got 3 people that's been nominated. You've got Kevin Hicks, Olivia Abernathy, and what is her name, Sue?
Sue Vagers and Philip Mullins.
You can only vote for 2, one commissioner and Ms. Vagers. Commissioner Hale.
Do we need to nominate Ms. Sue as well, or do we just have a resume on
She
there?
has to be nominated. There's a resume there. We have a resume.
Okay, so it would
I
be,
hadn't seen the resume.
I haven't seen
I want to say I saw it.
Commissioner Boyd.
Did it go out, sir?
I was thinking if there was a resume in the agenda packet, then she is eligible to be nominated to fill Ms. Dietrich's spot on the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that nomination be closed on the 2 and we vote on it. Roll call.
Mr. Chairman, we have about 3 things going on here. I think we should address the incumbent first.
Right.
And then either the commissioner or the citizen. But
You're right. You can address the incumbents, but we need, if you're going to nominate Ms. Vagers, there has not been a motion to nominate her to fill Ms. Dietrich's spot. There has been a motion to nominate Mr. Mullins to be reappointed. And then we've got 2 nominations to fill the commission spot for Ms. Abernathy and Mr. Hicks.
But only one position.
So we have a nomination for Mullins and for Ms. Bagers.
Yes, well, I would make the motion to nominate Ms. Susan Bagers. Said Sue?
Sue.
And you got Ms. Mullins, Mr. Mullins too.
And Mullins, Kevin Hicks. And then Olivia as well. So there's 4 names, but it's not, it'd probably be easiest if we voted.
You only vote for 3 of them.
Right.
Right.
Well, Commissioner Brown.
Mr. Chairman.
You need to separate out the 2 commission seats, because if you have people vote for 3 and they choose 2 commissioners, you can't put 2 commissioners on this
All right,
board under the statute.
we'll vote for Bagers and Mullins now.
Mr. Chairman, I made a motion to close the nomination on the 2 vote, and then we vote on the 2 commissioners. I already done said that. And I asked for a roll call.
And you, that's what you second?
No, sir.
No, okay.
That's already been said, and you hadn't did anything about it.
That's right.
We're trying to understand it.
Commissioner.
Under the rules, a motion to close nominations is out of order as long as there are additional people wishing to make nominations.
So what now?
Under the rules, if someone makes a motion to close nominations, if there's still other members wishing to make nominations, that motion is out of order.
If had nobody got up and made a statement they want to nominate somebody, it just stand there, nobody's saying anything. I made it that we closed, and it's closed. And, I asked that, we nominate vote on the 2 commissioners, and we have a roll call. And this thing going on so long, ain't nobody made no more motion.
Well, again, under the rules, there would have to be a vote on a motion to close, but if there were other members who wished to make nominations, the vote to close the nominations.
I guess we're sitting here all day trying to wait on people making nominations. That what you're saying?
Commissioner Brown.
Well, if there's others who wish to make nominations.
Yes, sir. I don't know about anybody else, but I hadn't received a resume,
I hadn't seen one either.
and that is a requirement.
The packet went out and then that came in after, so it went out after the packet. So it would have been a separate email.
So it wasn't 10 days before.
Mr. Chair, due to the confusion of this item number, I motion to table this to the next meeting.
No, it ain't no.
Commissioner Brown, excuse me.
Mr. Chair, I think it's important what the attorney says, is that I think we need to deal with voting on the 2 commissioners that were nominated first.
Right.
And then in sequence, after that, vote for the citizen appointments and the reappointments. I think that would satisfy the confusion. I think we lumped them all
You got it.
together, which should not have been done.
Tony, your motion failed for lack of second. We can vote on the commissioners now.
You can vote on the commissioners now and then vote on the reappointment of Mr.
All
Mullins
right.
and the other nominations after that.
You have 2 commissioners, Olivia Abernathy and Kevin Hicks.
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
Abernathy. Ada. Alexander. Arnold.
Commissioner Abernathy.
Black.
Abernathy.
Bond.
Hicks.
Brown. Claudel.
Abernathy.
Bryant.
Hicks.
Cindy. I'm sorry, thank you. Bryant. Mike.
Hicks.
Deaton.
Hicks.
Ellison. Godwin. Hale.
Hicks.
Hall.
Hicks.
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 Johnson.
Abernathy.
Jones. Martin.
Abernathy.
Mercer.
Abernathy.
Montague.
Abernathy.
Ehoff.
Hicks.
Petty. Taylor.
Abernathy.
Tippit.
Hicks.
Wall.
Hicks.
Anybody want to change their vote?
Kind of 12-12, Mr. Chairman.
We have 12-12.
Rules require 13.
Motion failed for both of them. We're voting on the other 2 incumbents, or 1 incumbent. Mr. Hicks.
Motion, we,
Mr. Hicks.
Philip Mullins.
Mr. Hicks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Commissioner Chair, if it pleases the board, I would like to rescind my name. from being consideration. If it's 12-12. I don't know if I'm able to do that or not.
Get that another vote.
You can have another vote if he's withdrawing his name from consideration.
Are we only voting on Ms. Abernathy? Roll call.
Abernathy? Day? Alexander? Arnold? Black?
Abernathy.
Bond?
Abernathy.
Brown Claudel?
Abernathy.
Bryant?
Pass.
Cindy? Bryant Mike?
Abernathy.
Deaton?
Pass.
Ellison? Godwin? Hill? Hall? Hicks? Johnson? Jones? Martin? Mercer? Montague?
Abernathy.
Neal?
Abernathy.
Petty? Taylor?
Abernathy.
Tippit?
Abernathy.
Wall?
Abernathy.
You gotta let them change, get 24. Yes, sir, she got 24.
Couldn't have, she had two passes.
Sir?
She had two passes.
Who passed?
I passed. Who else
And I
passed?
passed.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Who else?
22.
All right, who else passed? I'm sorry.
Cindy.
I did.
Thank you. I'm old, y'all gotta help me out, please. Thank you.
Now we're voting on, Mr. Mullins and what's the lady's name? Sue Bagers. Roll call.
So for yes or no?
No, you have to
Yes or no for final.
Yes or no?
All right. Abernathy?
Yes.
Day?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Bond?
Yes.
Brown, Claudette? Brown?
Yes.
Bryant, Cindy?
I'm not clear. Are we voting for Sue Bagers or are we voting?
Both of them.
For both of them? Yes.
Bryant, Mike?
Yes.
Deaton?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
Godwin?
Pass.
Hill?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Mercer? Sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Montague?
Yes.
Nehoff?
Yes.
Petty? Taylor?
Yes.
Tippit?
Yes.
Wall?
Yes.
I heard one pass, Mr. Chairman. I hope that's,
I want to ask a question. Y'all already voted. Can I ask a question?
Ms. Goldman.
Oh, can I stand? I passed because, I didn't recall hearing a second when he made the, ask to consider, Ms. Sue. I did not hear a second. So that's why I passed. So do you have to have a second?
Seconds are not required on nominations.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody want to change their vote?
I think it's 23-1-1.
Got 23, one pass. Nominations are approved. Item number 20. Appointment of one member of the Economic Development Commission by this body, 5-year term. Jane Alderson, incumbent.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to renominate Jane Alderson.
Have a motion and second by
I'd like to
Commissioner
second that
Alexander. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 21. Appointment of 4 members, Commissioner, to the Law Enforcement Public Safety Committee by this body, 1-year term. Barbara Johnson, Claudel Brown, Scott Brown, and Harold Petty, incumbents. Commissioner Brown.
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate the following 4 individuals to serve on the Law Enforcement Public Safety Committee. Commissioner Harold Petty, Commissioner Claudel Brown, Chair Gary Deaton, and Commissioner Arthur Johnson.
Second that.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 22, appointment of 3 members of the Public Records Commission by this body, 1-year term. Cornell Tiller, Jay Bush, Jack Wood, incumbent.
Chairman, I'd like to nominate Cornelia Tiller, Jay Bush, and Jack Wood for this position.
Have a motion, have a second.
Chairman, I second.
Mr. Taker. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 23, appointment of 4 members to the Ethics Committee by this body, 1-year term. Jamie Ellison, Curtis Howard, Tracy Snyder, Mike Ashley, incumbent. Jeff Wall.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Jamie Elliott, Curtis Howard, Tracy Snyder, and Michael Ashley to this Ethics Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to second that.
Have a motion second by Commissioner Hicks. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 24, appointment of 10 members of the Industrial Parks Committee by this body, 3-year term. Jerry Smith, Terry Spillman, Adrian Montague, Jeff Wall, Tracy Cleek, William Martin, Brent Beckham, Harold Petty, Doug Stevenson, Kyle Spurgeon, incumbent. Commissioner Hale.
Yes, sir. I'd like to nominate Jerry Smith, Luther Mercer, Adrian Montague, Mark Aday, William Martin, Mike Bryant, Gary Deaton, Tony Niehoff, Olivia Abernathy, and Kyle Spurgeon.
Commissioner Alexander.
I second that nomination.
Have a motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Number 25, appointment of 1 member to the Madison County Board of Zoning Appeals by this body, 3-year term. Barbara Johnson, Tommy Gobble, and Harold Petty, incumbent. Ms. Bond.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Jeff Wall and William Martin, Carl Anderson, Tony Niehoff, Joel Haynes, and Andy Hall.
Cindy Brown.
I'd like to second.
Do I have a second? Ms. Brown.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Tony Black.
We add Tony Black to that nomination. Have a second? Didn't need a second, that's okay. Roll call.
We're on number 25, right?
We on 25. You're voting for either Jeff Wall, William Martin, Carl Alexander, Tony Niehoff, Joey Hayes, and Andy Hall, and Tony Black.
My agenda says there's 1 member to the board.
Yeah, 1 member.
Yeah, we voted for 1 member.
Yeah, you,
Three.
there's 3.
But you got 3
That's a typo. That's my fault. It's 3 members. Barbara, Tommy, and Harold are the incumbents. So you'd have, you're still on 25, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those 3 need to be,
Well, we'll be replacing 2 of those.
right.
So we're replacing 2 of those.
Or adding
Well, two are no longer members. Mr. Petty is still a member, but obviously he, due to health issues, I'm not sure his availability to participate in the BZA meetings.
Well, and he just missed his 3rd, so he should be getting a letter anyway. All 3 of those.
So you've got 3 spots to fill based on the nominations that have been made.
Yes.
So we can vote with 3 of the commissioners who have been called out then.
Yes.
Yes.
Jeff Wall, William Martin, Carl Alexander, Tommy Niehoff, Joey Hale, Andy Hall, and Tony Black.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner
you can
Wall.
take my name off of this list because I'm already on that committee, so I'm just not up yet. I think they were just talking about reappointing those positions.
All right.
That's right. It's staggered terms, Mr. Chairman, so the 3 that are up this month, there may be other members, and I don't know who the members are, but if any of them that were nominated are already on it, then they don't need to be considered.
So then you voted for William Martin, Carl Alexander, Tony Niehoff, Joey Hale, Andy Hall, and Tony Black. We voting?
You need to vote for 2.
3.
You need to vote for 3 positions, because Mr. Petty was not renominated, I don't believe. So you've got 3 spots to fill from, I count, 6 nominations.
Gotcha, all right.
Would you call the names again, please?
Roll call.
Would you call the names again, please?
That would be William Martin, Carl Alexander, Tony Niehoff, Joey Hale,
No. Joe Haynes. Joe Haynes.
Joey Haynes,
Okay.
Joey Haynes, Andy Hall, and Tony Black.
I'm gonna read the 6 names, Mr. Chairman, make sure I have them correctly, and I'll put them in alphabetical order.
All right.
I've got Alexander, I've got Black, I've got Hale, Hall,
No, it's Haynes,
Haynes.
Haynes.
Haynes, Joey Haynes.
I thought this was commissioners. Mr. Haynes is not a commissioner.
So we don't know.
I thought I heard Joey Hale, so I
You
don't.
did, I did say that.
I don't, Mr. Haynes, I think you can nominate a non-commissioner, but again, you're going to have a resume in the packet for that person.
So you can take him out of
So
there.
you can take Haynes off now.
So you got William Martin, Carl Alexander, Tony Niehoff, Andy Hall, and Tony Black commissioners. You're voting for three.
Two of the five, oh, 3 of the 5.
3 of the 5.
3 of the 5. So I'm gonna read it again, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Alexander, Black, Hall,
William.
Martin, Niehoff. Okay. Yes, ma'am. All right, Ms. Abernathy, I'm ready.
Black, Alexander, Hall.
8A,
Alexander, Niehoff, and Hall.
Alexander,
Alexander, Lehoff, Hall.
Arnold,
Commissioner Alexander, Commissioner Tony Black, Commissioner Andy Hall.
Commissioner Black,
Black, Alexander, and Niehoff.
Bond,
Alexander, Hall, and Niehoff.
Brown,
Black, Martin, Alexander.
Bryant,
Alexander, Martin, and Hall.
Bryant Mike,
Commissioners Alexander, Niehoff, and Hall.
Keaton,
Alexander, Niehoff, and Hall.
Ellison,
All right, back, after that.
Godwin,
Black, Martin.
Hale,
Alexander, Niehoff, and Hall.
Hall,
Hall, Alexander, Niehoff.
one more time, please.
Hall, Alexander, and Niehoff.
Thank you. Hicks,
Alexander, Niehoff, and Hall.
Johnson,
Alexander, Niehoff, Hall.
Jones,
Black, Hall, and Martin.
Martin,
Alexander, Black, and Martin.
Mercer,
Alexander, Black, and Martin.
Montague,
Alexander, Black, Martin.
Niehoff,
Alexander, Niehoff, Hall.
Petty, Taylor,
Alexander, Niehoff, Hall.
Tippit,
Alexander, Niehoff, Hall.
Wall,
Alexander, Niehoff, and Hall.
Anybody want to change their vote?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Black.
I need to change my vote to Black, Martin, and Niehoff.
Anyone else?
So you want
Black,
Black, Martin, and Niehoff.
Black, Martin, Niehoff.
Chairman, this is what I've heard. That's Alexander, that's Black, that's Hall, that's Martin, Nehall. So I've got, let me summarize this for you. All right, I'm sorry.
All right. Alexander, 21 votes. Hall, 17 votes. Nehall, 15 votes. Black, 10 votes. Martin, 9 votes. So Alexander, Hall, and Nehall. Item number 26, County Corrections Partnership Committee, and that should be sunset. Just need a motion to do so.
Motion to sunset, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 27.
Mr. Chairman, I would like someone to make a motion to table 27, 28, 29, 30, and item 34 and 35.
27, 28, 29, and 30.
Yes, sir. And item number 34 and 35. To allow me time to gather resumes.
Are you saying 31 also?
34 and 35.
34 and 35.
Those are all mayor appointments, and I just need more time to gather resumes.
Commissioner Brown?
I so move.
Second. That's motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. So we remove 27, 28, 29, 30.
30 wasn't one. 30 wasn't mayor, right?
Yeah, 30 is Madam Mayor.
Okay.
We remove 30?
By Mayor.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
We're tabling it. 34 and 35.
By Mayor.
$31,
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Wall.
I've got a question here, that this, on the Madison County Outer Region Planning Commission on number 30, it says by mayor will seal the approval for your term. I just want to verify that's the mayor's appointment.
That's correct. Those are the mayor's appointment, but it has to be approved by the CLD.
Gotcha.
All right, we're on item 31. Commissioner Hale.
As we know by statute, the superintendent of roads and the superintendent of schools, as well as the mayor, sits on this committee by statute. So my nomination for the 4 county commissioners would be Arthur Johnson, Mike Taylor, Kevin Hicks, and Gary Deaton.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that motion.
Have motion second. Ms. Jones.
I nominate Sheila Godwin.
Sheila Godwin. All righty.
I
Commissioner Brown.
nominate Commissioner Mercer.
Sheila Godwin and Commissioner Mercer.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Black.
Commissioner Black. So we have Arthur Johnson, Mike Taylor, Kevin Hicks, Gary Deaton, Commissioner Mercer, Commissioner Black, and who else was it?
Godwin.
Ms. Godwin, okay. Everybody got those?
Reread them again.
Read those out, you
Yes, sir, I'm gonna put them in alphabetical order for my benefit. I've got Black, Deaton, Godwin, Hicks, Mercer, Taylor. Ma'am?
And Johnson, one of them?
Arthur
Yes,
Johnson.
I missed him. You're right. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
1, 2, 3.
You voted for 4.
4 out of 7.
Yes.
You voted for 4.
Would you please read those 7 one more time?
Yes, sir. Black, Deaton, Godwin, Hicks, Johnson, Mercer, Taylor.
Everybody ready? Roll call.
Was that Commissioner Abernathy?
Taylor, Hicks, Mercer, and Black.
Day?
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, and Dean.
Alexander,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, Deaton.
Arnold,
Johnson, Taylor, Black, Taylor.
Black and who?
Taylor,
Yeah.
Mike, Mike's name's on, Mike Taylor?
You voted for him twice, sir.
I'm, well, Mike, you can use that. Commissioner Hicks.
Thank you. Black,
Black, Hicks, Mercer, Taylor.
Bond,
Deaton, Hicks, Johnson, Taylor.
Brown,
Hicks, Mercer, Godwin, Black.
Bryant, Cindy,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, and Deaton.
Bryant, Mike,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, and Deaton.
Deaton,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, and Deaton.
Ellison,
Johnson, Black, Mercer, Taylor.
Godwin,
Godwin, Mercer, Black, Hicks.
ma'am, I'm gonna ask you to repeat it. Did you say Black, Godwin, Hicks, and Mercer?
Godwin, Mercer, Black, and Hicks.
Thank you. Hill,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, and Deaton.
Hall,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, Deaton.
Hicks,
Commissioner Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, Deaton.
Johnson,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks,
Jones,
Black, Godwin, Hicks, Mercer.
Martin,
Mercer, Black, Taylor, and Johnson.
I'm sorry, I missed one there, Commissioner Martin.
Mercer, Black, Johnson, and Taylor.
Thank you. Mercer,
Mercer, Black, Johnson, Taylor.
Montague,
Black, Godwin, Mercer, Hicks.
Ehoff,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, and Deaton.
Petty, Taylor,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, Deaton.
Tippit,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, Dean.
Wall,
Johnson, Taylor, Hicks, Deaton.
okay. That's what I heard. Hopefully it's right.
Hicks had 21 votes, Taylor 20 votes, Johnson 18 votes, Deaton 14 votes, Black 10 votes, Mercer 9 votes, Godwin 4 votes. So Hicks, Taylor, Johnson, and Deaton be on the Finance Committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
procedurally, we probably need to go ahead and vote on the reappointment of the county mayor, highway commissioner, and school superintendent, just because we do have a new mayor coming in.
Right. That would be Dr. King, Art Wall, and Mayor A.J. Massey.
Motion to reappoint Marvin King, Bart Walls, and Mayor Massey to Financial
Have a
Management.
motion, have a second by Commissioner Brown. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. That was item 31. We're going to item 32. Appointment of 7 members of the Highway Committee by this body, one-year term: Jeff Wall, Jason Compton, Terry Spearman, Carl Alexander, Brett Behrman, Tommy Gobble, and Aaron Ellison, incumbent. That's 32. Commissioner Bryan.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we reappoint Commissioners Carl Alexander, Jeff Wall, and Aaron Ellison. And new commissioners to that committee, I'd like to nominate Andy Hall, Mark Aday, Gary Tippett, and Tony Niehoff.
A second.
Ms. Vaughn, I have a motion to second. Any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 33, appointment of 13 members to the Municipal Oversight Committee by this body, one-year term: Trey Cleet, Jason Compton, Jeff Wall, Amir Key, Matt Preston, Michelle Sellers, Gary Irwin, Bart Walls, Kim Tedford, Tina Singleton, Karen Bell, Rhonda Morrison, Kathy Blunt, incumbent. Commissioner Wall.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mike Taylor, Carly Bond, Mike Bryant, Carmita King, Matthew Preston, Bart Walls, Michelle Sellers, Kim Tedford, Tina Singleton, Karen Bell, Rhonda Morris, Gail Mooney, and Barry Michael to that committee.
Any other motion? Have a motion and a second. Any other nominations? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 34 has been postponed. 35 has been postponed. Item 36. Appoint one member to the Educational Foundation Committee by this body, 2-year term. We got one vacant seat to fill an uninspired term. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Troy Cleet for the Education Foundation.
Have a motion second.
Who's second, I'm sorry?
Commissioner
I'll
Allen.
get that, Matt. All right.
Commissioner Brown. Black, excuse me.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate James Shaw.
James Shaw.
Second that.
Have a motion second. Any other nominations? You have Trey Cleet and James Shaw. Roll call. That's where Brown usually says. That's where Brown used to say.
Abernathy,
Shaw.
Aday. Alexander. Arnold.
Shaw.
Black.
Shaw.
Bond.
Cleat.
Brown.
Shaw.
Bryant.
Cleat.
Bryant. Mike. Sorry. Deaton.
Lee.
Ellison. Godwin.
Shaw.
Hill. Hall. Hicks. Johnson. Jones.
Shaw.
Martin.
Shaw.
Mercer. Montague.
Shaw.
Niehoff. Petty. Taylor.
Cleet.
Tippett. Wall.
Cleat.
14 for Cleek, and 10 for Shaw.
14 for Cleet and 10 for Shaw. Cleet has been nominated for the foundation. Item 37, approval of amendment and correction of Amoresco's agreement. Commissioner Hale.
Chair, if this is an inappropriate time to bring this up, it deals with committee appointments, both with the Budget and Capital Committee. They don't have enough members to meet right now, so I'd be curious if this body would consider, I'd make a motion to suspend the rules to take those two committees up.
I'll second the motion.
But we're on item number 37.
You want to do it at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Item number 37, approval of amendment to the correction of Amoresco agreement.
Mr. Chairman, county attorney and I realized that there was some dates that were incorrect on item number 4 and 5. They were the same dates, so he has corrected that language so that there's not two payments due in the same year. Item number 4 and 5 to the agreement.
Do we need to vote on that?
Yes, sir.
We do. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wall. Any discussion on this? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 38, approval of reversal to surplus inventory policy. Commissioner Beck.
Mr. Chairman, this came before the Financial Management Committee. The language has been added regarding trade-ins for departments. There was no language in the surplus policy about what needed to be done with trade-ins. It did pass Financial Management, and County Attorney said that we needed to bring it back before the full body since this is a change to our policy.
Commissioner Hale.
I'll just look quicker, sorry. Motion to adopt.
Just say that this was also came in front of property, and property did approve this too.
Your second.
And I second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 40, approval of reversal to Madison County travel policy.
Mr. Chairman, this revises our purchasing policy. We are requesting to follow state guidelines, which went into effect July 1, that requires bids over the amount of $50,000. This would also change our purchasing quotes for 3 quotes to be $10,000 up to $49,999 with bids over $50,000. We are requesting that this policy be passed for county departments.
That's number 39, not 40.
That's 39 you're talking about, right?
Yes, it jumped. No, he jumped, he read 40. You
I read 40, but we're on 39, I apologize.
Well, what I said goes for 39.
Okay. Commissioner Alexander.
I make a motion that we approve this.
A motion second by Commissioner Bryant. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Now we on number 40.
Mr. Chairman, this is revisions to the travel policy, deleting some obsolete language where that we had to pay for Wi-Fi at hotels and conferences, which is now pretty much included as complimentary. It also updates the per diem and the mileage rates to be consistent with the IRS at 61 cents. So we're asking updates to the Madison County travel policy.
Move. So move.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. Have a second, Commissioner Hale. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Approval of tax anticipated note for juvenile court services for $150,000. Commissioner, Director Bell.
Mr. Chairman, this is for a tax anticipation note. As you know, in your budget that was approved, there were 3 months of cash flows that would be needing anticipation to carry them forward until the taxes were collected. This will be in the amount of $150,000. This has already been approved by the Comptroller's Office as being sufficient, and we hope to alleviate this problem next year since we increase the pennies that will be going into juvenile court service.
Have a motion? The motion, Commissioner Hale. Second, Commissioner Taylor. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item 42, any and all matters related to connection with matters set forth in items 1 through 41. Commissioner Hale.
I'd make a motion to suspend our rules to take up budget and capital committee appointments.
Have a motion.
I'd like to second that.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
I'd make a motion to take up the budget. The budget committee appointees would be, nominees would be Carl Alexander, Joey Hale, Andy Hall, Marcus Love, and Greg Parsons. I'd like to second that.
Have a motion, second. Any other nominations?
Carl Alexander, Joey Hale, Andy Hall, Marcus Love, and Greg Parsons.
Anybody got that? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you see, all of anything else come for commission when we close.
That's what we're doing
Yeah,
now.
okay, I got a statement I got to make. I'd like to make a statement here that, everything's been carried on here this day to be obsolete and void because of the sunshine law. Everybody that got up and made the motion and seconded here today, violated the sunshine law on the 13th. And, the reason I said it violate the sunshine law is because it was a agenda sent out to everybody. Not everybody, but just to these folks that got up and talked today. The agenda say, let me read it to you here. It's a Republican Caucus meeting Tuesday, September 13, 2022, at 5 p.m., Town and Country Realty, 1944, Highway 45 bypass, Jackson, Tennessee, 38305. Agenda, call the meeting to order. Prayer and pledge. Number 2, discuss items on the agenda for 9/19/22 meeting. And it says, please call or text Jerry Hale at 731-697-1475 or request by email to confirm attendance. GOP Caucus Chairman Joe Hale. He gave a direction to
That's a public meeting, Commissioner Mercer.
Pardon me?
That was a public meeting.
Ain't no public meeting.
It is a
Yeah,
public
what?
meeting. It's a public
You
meeting.
got an agenda, you sit right here.
It's a public meeting.
It said, no, ain't no public meeting, it said right here, discuss items on August 19, for 9/19/22 meeting.
Commissioner
It's no public, no private meeting.
Commissioner Hayes.
And when you discuss the agenda, do that thing work there?
You know what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
I like to show everybody that meeting.
Oh, Mr. Mercer, unfortunately, no, sir, I can't load anything. It doesn't have internet in here.
That's not,
No,
it's
sir.
not.
Yes, sir.
You gonna have you on a disk?
I have a flash drive that
I can get you a flash drive.
Yeah, if you've got a flash drive, I can load it, yes, sir.
Okay. Let everybody-
Commissioner Hale.
I can speak as the Republican caucus. I send out notices to the press. Everyone's invited. It's a public meeting. It's not done in secret. Everyone on the press.
If you sent it out to the press was not there. Nobody from the press showed up.
That's not our fault.
No, he ain't sent it out.
Chair, point of order. I'm trying to direct.
Not
my
only
comments
that,
to you.
Mr. Mercer, you're out of order.
I'm
Commissioner
not out
Hale.
of order. I have to speak. I'm
You're-
standing up. I'm
you're-
still talking.
You're out of order.
He out of order.
No, you're out of order.
He out of order.
Commissioner Hale.
The notices were sent. We can't require the press to show up. Anyone's invited. Commissioner Abernathy was present. She was aware of them. It was an open meeting where Republicans caucus together. This is not new. We've been doing it for decades.
You're doing it wrong.
With that, I'll sit down.
Thank you.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes, sir. I have a motion, well, a recommendation I'd like to make.
Brown.
And also I would
I haven't
like,
finished yet.
Commissioner Brown. I'm sorry you finished.
Pardon me?
Commissioner Brown.
I haven't finished, Commissioner. I'm still standing up. I'm still talking.
You've already made your case.
I have made my case. I have made it yet. When I finish, I'll let you know.
You're out of order.
I'm not out of order, Commissioner.
Don't push your luck. You're
Don't
out
you
of
push yours.
Commissioner Brown.
Okay, go ahead, turn it on there. Everybody look at this. Town and Country Realty.
You've already stated that.
No, I mean, they got a picture up there. And that was under there going in.
Commissioner Brown.
I'd like to raise question because it was brought up on our agenda review committee. Roughly almost half of this commission is brand new. There have traditionally been overlaps and misinterpretation of roles of committees. And in that meeting, I'm requesting today that by our October meetings, every commissioner, new and old, because there are people who won't be on the commission 3 and 4 months and never seen 3 and 4 years, never seen the responsibility of our committees, that every committee's function and responsibility be put in the hands of commissioners.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
That every commissioner will be supplied with the function and the roles of each committee. We've had situations where persons have gone to committees with regard to budgetary changes when the finance committee is where they should be going. We've had situations where we were discussing issues that's delegated to other commissions, other committees as an efficient organization. And especially with new people, they're being ill-equipped if they don't know what the role is on these committees. So you need to know if they will be supplied with the role of each committee by our October meeting. I so move and recommend that with that recommendation if necessary.
These are the people that attend that meeting that day. And this agenda.
Commissioner Brown.
I have a motion on the floor.
We have an agenda meeting that we meet every Thursday before the county commission meeting. And the agenda meeting, we didn't discuss nothing on the agenda. All they did went down the line and said, what was that? These people that designated for, they got the agenda with them, they got the agenda packet with them. They can't discuss this agenda in any public meeting. It's supposed to be done in the agenda meeting or in this meeting in here. They are out, they violate the sunshine law, and they out of order for doing that. And
I've got a motion to second on the floor.
Everything in here is,
Commissioner, we have a motion on the floor.
pardon me?
We have a motion on the floor.
How can you have a motion on the floor when I'm always up talking?
Because you're through.
You can't go.
You've already put this out. You've already made your
I ain't
case.
made no, when I finish, I sit down. You can't tell me when, I'm a commissioner just like you are.
I know you are.
You gave me permission to stand on this floor. I'll stand here until I finish what I'm doing.
We'll finish then.
And then when I finish, then you call on to have anybody do everything they want to.
Well, go ahead and finish.
Thank you, appreciate that, Mr. Chairman, for being out of, wait, who took this mic? What happened?
I withdraw my second.
Pardon me?
I withdraw the second. I turn everything over to you.
Mr. Mayor, you said that meeting too. You supposed to be part of all these commissions in here, not just for a group. You suddenly made this big statement a while ago.
You got some comments back to the chair?
That we do all that, and you at the meeting there going on with this.
Yeah, Mr. Commissioner Mercer, make your comments to the chair, not the people out in the audience.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm sorry for that, Mr. Chairman.
We're waiting.
They're waiting what?
Waiting on you?
We watching video.
We're watching the video.
Replaying at this point.
It's the action to be taken for all these people to attend that meeting.
I believe Commissioner Hale has told you what that was, meeting was.
I don't care what Hale told me.
Well, I'm speaking now. I think he's told you there was an open meeting.
Commissioner,
We've been doing.
you gave me the floor.
I'm talking.
You
now.
gave me the floor.
I'm giving you an answer to what you're talking about.
No, I'm not, I didn't ask you nothing. So you don't give me an answer to nothing. I haven't asked you nothing.
Oh, boy.
You married the whole boy. You don't violate the sunshine law. You know it's wrong.
Chair, in regards to this, I think the county attorney, in terms of caucusing, what can take place in caucusing, can you give us a legal definition of what can take place in caucusing? And plus, if it's given out to the public, could we be provided with a list of the outlets that it was sent to, et cetera, because, and are you able to discuss agenda items that are to come before this body in a caucus meeting when we do have a established pre-agenda meeting for us to discuss those issues? How does that conflict?
Members may caucus and deliberate if there's public notice, adequate public notice under TCA 8-44-101. Now, I did not send out a notice for the caucus meeting, but if the notice was sent out to the media, the same as a commission meeting or an agenda review is, then I believe it would be considered a public meeting because the media and the public had an opportunity to attend.
Mr. Attorney, you telling me that you can discuss agenda items? You telling me the time the country become our pre-agenda meeting now? That's what we discuss our business over at Town and Country. Really?
Yes, sir. If members put out adequate public notice under the statute to the media.
Well, you need to go back there.
You
wrong on that. Thank you.
Mr. Ray,
There had to be public notice because they're there videoing it. They could have just came in the door instead of standing over a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Commissioner Black.
He was.
I've been standing.
Commissioner Godwin.
Thank you. Mr. Hale, could you serve the public notice that you sent out pertaining to this particular meeting? Could you serve and show me the date I'm asking for?
Should I address the chair? Should be addressing the chair.
Commissioner Godwin.
I'm sorry.
Address it to the chair.
I'm sorry. Chairman, I would like to, I'm asking if I could receive a copy of the notice date that will serve for this particular meeting. Could I have a copy of that notice? Because I didn't receive one. And I would like to.
It was Republican caucus, I don't know.
Well, I would like to just receive
Hale.
a notice to see if it didn't violate the
Commissioner Hale.
sunshine law.
Happily provide any information. It went to the press. I don't have it with me today. I wasn't prepared. If my Democratic colleagues didn't feel left out and they weren't invited to the Republican caucus, I invite you to join our party because it's a good time of conversation where we notify the public. The press has been there, obviously since Brandon Shields has.
Everybody got
I just want to know.
Let's have order here.
Lady coming out with an agenda. Right?
Let's have order here.
When can I get that notice? I just want a copy of the notice.
He just said he will provide it.
Okay.
Who's up there?
He come out with just in his angle.
Commissioner Black.
I think the question needs to be addressed in terms of caucusing. Of course, you're allowed to caucus, but the question that I have on my mind is what can you discuss in that caucus in terms of agreements of how you're going to vote on issues? I think that's the line that I'm concerned with. So if you would, I would hope that you would further look at that, because at our CTAS training, they did say you could caucus, but even if it's public discussing business in an agenda meeting at a caucus meeting, it's two different issues. So that needs to be clarified.
My interpretation of the Open Meetings Act is that if there's public notice given, then any issue can be discussed by those because the meeting is open to the public. I'm happy to look into it further for you and provide you any information that you'd like, Commissioner Black.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes, I don't mean to sound preachery, and I don't apologize for being a preacher. But let's put some lipstick on this hog. We have a public agenda meeting that was originally supposed to be a citizen review committee because we elected to be accessible where people who work could come to these meetings. We should, I was hoping so badly, especially with the appeal from Mayor, which was right on point, that we could try to be as big as the position that we're elected to instead of small games. The thing is that it's ironic that nothing special you want to make a paragraph. Almost no Republican was at the agenda meeting. If we're gonna have an agenda, the election is over with. We're here to serve the people, not to serve your party. And this is completely undermining the true democracy of suggested in our being elected to this position that we're in. And it's regretful that you're so cliquish and so disrespectful. How can we build mutual respect and coalitions to serve the people when you can't see any followers in your nose? I hope that we'll rise to a higher level than I see displayed here and I'm hearing reference to.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes, sir, I would like to make a brief statement. Yesterday was Sunday, and I'm sure you all went to church. And I'm sure you all claim to be Christian, that you love God, and that you love God people. This is not God work. God doesn't work like this here. Everybody is somebody. When we voted today, most all the people that are on the committee are Republican. They are white, not black. It's not fair. It's not about the party, people. It's about right and wrong. It's about being fair. Forget the party, forget the color, and just do what is right. But you all cannot do that. It's about the party, and it's about the color. When will we get over that? It's not, when I vote, I don't vote concerning the party or the color. I vote what is right for all citizens.
Ms. Godwin?
Mr. Bush, Mr. Hale did say he would get it to me, but I would like to, could you check in, and I would like a copy of the notice.
The public is entitled to any agenda, meeting minute. The public is entitled to a copy of any agenda from a public meeting, so I can obtain a copy of the notice that went out from Commissioner Hale, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hale.
Just been able to find the screenshot of the email that went out, and several, I mean, every commissioner was on it. Well, I'm just, if I could just come make my comments to the chair and not be distracted by the comments around me. The press is all through here. Steve Beverly, Mr. Truex with WBBJ, Thomas Media, Jackson Overstreet, Brandon Shields at the Jackson. So there's a long list of about 100 people that are attached to this notice, and we've been using this method long before I was even elected in 2018.
You want to send that to Attorney Bush so he can?
I'll happily provide it, and if he wants to I don't mind sending this exact screenshot out to the same press members so they can see that the notice went out accordingly. And even if you want to do a Freedom of Information Act request on my email, please do so. It's there. This was not done in secret. It feels a little silly that the video was taken of us caucusing, which was made known to the public, it was made known to the commissioners. All the county emails here, if you don't have access to your county email yet, apologize for that, but the email notice went out accordingly on the 6th, which is considered proper notice. If I can, though, direct the back to what we had suspended the rules to take up 2 committee nominations. One was budget, the other one was capital committee. We're still in the middle of that rules suspension.
Commissioner Alexander.
I'd like to rise and nominate for Capital Committee Tony Black, Mike Brantley, Gary Deaton, Tony Niehoff, Mike Taylor, Joey Hale, and Arthur Johnson.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Which one's up?
I think I was up first. I'd just like to briefly say that the information that has always been like this is completely not true. We used to be bigger than this. Elections are over with. The citizens expect that a group of commissioners would handle their business and that their priorities would be more important than your party. I move that we adjourn.
Have a motion? Ms. Bell?
Mr. Chairman, we have one resolution that came in at the last minute that needs to be brought up before we discuss.
All righty.
This is a resolution to approve the lease for the building department. It was sent out Friday evening. The reason that it did not come before the financial management, he did not get the quotes until September 13th and did not realize the lease needed to be done. The funds are budgeted in his capital budget, and we're just asking to move forward with his enterprise lease.
Commissioner, have a motion?
I'll make the motion to suspend the rules. I do want to make a note that this money has already been budgeted. It's just the fact of the lease, like other departments are doing, he's coming back today to get approval for that.
Have a motion to suspend the rules. Have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second? All in favor say aye.
Legal point of order. Does it not require 2/3?
To suspend the rules, it does.
Okay, roll call vote.
Roll call.
Mr. Chair, excuse me.
Roll call.
He was a.
We're in the middle of a motion.
I was standing up here before.
No, that motion was already on the floor.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not on floor. And everybody knows.
We're voting to suspend the rules.
He said yes right now.
Mr. Ellis was on the floor before we spin the rules.
Arnold.
I've been standing up here since everybody's talking for the last.
That's right.
It was.
Mr. Ellison was standing, but he hadn't been recognized yet. Then Ms. Bell rose to request that the rules be suspended so that we could take up this lease. The rules were then suspended. If we're gonna maintain the order, we've got a motion on the floor that needs to be voted on, and then Mr. Ellison can be called on to speak.
But
Yes.
I appreciate.
Roll
that
call.
suspended.
Mr. Arnold, that's a yes, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Black?
Yes.
Thank you. Bond?
Yes. Yes.
Brown?
No?
Bryant?
Yes.
Cindy? Bryant? Mike?
Yes.
Deaton?
Yes.
Ellison?
Yes.
Godwin?
No.
Hill?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you. Jones?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. Martin?
Yes.
Mercer? Montague?
Yes.
Niehoff?
Yes.
Petty? Taylor?
Yes.
Tippit?
Yes.
Wall?
Yes.
All right, 3 noes. That's gonna make it, 21 yeses, if I heard correctly.
21 yeses, but the rules have been suspended. Now the motion.
Motion would be to allow Jeff Clark with the building department to enter into this lease that he's brought forth, that Karen has a copy of.
Have a second? Second by Commissioner Hicks. Any discussion on this issue? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Ellison, now you can be recognized. Okay. Commissioner Black.
I would, Mr. Chairman, back to the issue that was before us in regards to the meeting. If you could we have minutes of that meeting, since it was a public meeting? Could meeting minutes be provided to this body of the meeting?
Minutes were kept. I don't know that minutes were kept at the meeting.
The minutes kept? That's the question.
I don't know.
Is it required?
I don't think it's required to keep meeting minutes. If they were kept, then they would be available to the public.
For discussion regarding voting and caucusing for the county commission, you tell me that they would not be in the minutes?
Again, I'm not a member of the Republican caucus.
That's the
I wasn't
question,
present.
Mr. Chair, that you may want to forward to the
The
people.
authority information that he has.
Were there minutes?
If, you know, he'll forward, he's already said he'll forward all the information that he has about that public meeting.
Well, I would appreciate that.
Commissioner Alexander,
We have one more item on the agenda that's to deal with the no republic.
do I now?
No republics. No republic list.
You make a
Chairman.
motion.
I make a motion, we move on to approve the no republic list.
You have a second?
I'll second the motion.
You said now.
I have a second.
I thought you said about to stand up and speak. You said now, okay, I'm standing up.
I did stand up.
He did
I was
stand
standing
up.
up when I addressed him.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to vote for the notary publics. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Mercer.
Mr. Attorney, you mean like you don't know about the sunshine law? Now, you a Republican, you met with the caucus to become an attorney here. You went to the caucus and everything before you became an attorney for this stuff. You know everything that's going on here about this sunshine law. You said that like you don't know nothing, and you talking in favor of the wrongdoing that's being done now. And you call yourself an attorney?
No, sir.
All right.
No, sir.
No more personal attacks. We've already stated that.
It ain't no,
Do I have a vote?
I'm stating facts. That man was a member of the caucus before he became the attorney.
No more personal attacks.
That ain't no personal attack.
That
Ain't
is
he
a personal attack. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
A vote in second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Roll call.
When it get hot like that, you got to move, have you?
Abernathy. Aday. Alexander. Arnold. Black.